We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. I am your host, Brian Barnaby. And let's just say the boys are back in town.
She got away, never to say. She can't joke, she don't know what to do.
She's gotta go. Bye. I know that you love this flow. We just chillin', we just villains. We just chillin', we some villains.
I leveled up, get the ammo and I stick it up. I ride with shots on the top of shots. I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it poop, make it explode. Touch your toes, hit your nose. Can you touch your toes?
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. I am your host, Brian Barnaby. I got Grasso. What's going on, bro?
How are you, Barnes?
Feeling good. Great day yesterday. Great baseball games yesterday. Great day today. I mean, what isn't great? And speaking of great, our producer, Main Magic Mike.
Hello, world. How are we today?
And we are joined via FaceTime by Gino.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
And I would like to give a special shout out to those watching on Optimum and Frontier. For information on channels, please see the bio. And of course, thank you to Soundview Media. But like we always say, it's playoff time, so we'll start in the world of the National Basketball Association.
LeBron James at the buzzer.
And we have some breaking news to start the show. This just in via Brian Windhorst of ESPN. Kawhi will miss the game tonight with an injury suffered in Game 4 and is in question for the rest of the series. And if that's not enough, Chris Paul, health and safety protocol, his status for the Western Conference Finals is in doubt. Gino, we have to start with you. How you feeling?
You got to be kidding me. Come on. This poor guy, this guy can't get a break, man. I know. Come on. But thankfully, with the, Kawhi situation, you never know. Maybe the series goes 7. If Paul's vaccinated, maybe that helps. I don't know. But this is ridiculous at this point. Come on. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just talking out loud here. But if he is in health and safety, does that mean that he's not vaccinated?
I don't
think so because you can obviously get COVID no matter what. Like obviously Phil Nevin was vaccinated, right? When he got COVID. So there's obviously that chance.
They weren't required to get the vaccine.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't know about basketball.
Yeah, but
interesting.
So hopefully, that doesn't ruin these playoffs.
This has been one of the weirdest NBA seasons ever.
Continued
Injuries
from last
COVID,
year to this year. Honestly,
it's just been a mess, man.
So hopefully that's the last domino to fall with these crazy stories. But back to the action. Last night we had the standalone game, and the Nets 114-108. Over the Bucks to take a 3-2 lead, and Kevin Durant might have had the best game of his life. 49 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists,
second pick
16 of 22 from the floor, and he was just absolutely on fire. I feel like he missed maybe 1 or 2 shots in the second half.
Yeah, he was absolutely dominant. He played all 48 minutes. He showed you. Remember a couple years ago, he was like, "I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am." Did that in the interview.
Yeah.
He pretty much did that on the court last night. PJ Tucker did a great job the past 2 games, but he just couldn't hang. And, Durant is he just showed he's the greatest player in the world right now. I don't even think it's really that debatable. He played great. And, shout out 2008 Seattle Supersonics. Kevin Durant and Uncle Jeff went off last night. So
How about Uncle Jeff? 7 of 8 from 3-point range, 27 points, but they needed that because James Harden probably had the worst game of his playoff career. 5 points, 6 boards, 8 assists, 1 of 10 shooting in 46 minutes. I mean, that has to be a record for him in his whole career, playing that many minutes and having 5 points.
Well, he was just decoy Harden out there. He couldn't even run. So, I mean, they just
sad,
put him out
though.
there because they literally don't have anyone.
It's sad the Bucks couldn't attack him. It's like, what were they even doing on offense?
Yeah,
Being dumb, as Chuck would say.
He did call him
obviously,
dumb.
we talked about this yesterday. We didn't know Harden. We thought he wouldn't play. He does play, but like we said, not effective. But the Bucks did have a 16-point lead at halftime, but it just didn't bounce their way in the second half. So tough one to take, and especially when you look at the numbers here too. I mean, they outscored the Nets 52-32 in the paint. I mean, usually you don't see that much of a discrepancy on a team losing a game, by 6 points. I was shocked really to see that play out. I mean, Giannis had a big game, 34 points, 12 boards, trouble at the free throw line. Chris Middleton, 25 points, but not that efficient, 8 of 22 shooting. Holiday had 19 points, 8 assists, and really I think they lost this game right at the end when I think they were down 1 or 2 and Giannis turned it over. He was like down in the paint, and I think
Durant got the steal.
Durant did get the steal, and they never looked back from that point on.
Yeah, I mean, Durant was just Durant.
Yeah,
huge win.
I got nothing else to say besides that. It was pretty incredible.
I mean, it's a confidence booster for the team too now.
And I mean, what was everyone saying? Like they were saying, Durant's got to score 40 or more.
Yeah, and have a triple double.
Right?
Yeah,
He had 49.
Yeah.
Gino, would you say, probably top 5 all-time playoff performances possibly for Durant last night?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was phenomenal last night. I mean, like you guys said, I mean, he needed to have a big game. Obviously, Harden played, but again, more of a decoy than anything else, because he was just non-existent out there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the Bucks were doing there, in terms of offensively. They didn't go with Harden, Drew Holiday, Giannis. I mean, those are 2 guys that should be driving Harden every single possession. And obviously, maybe that's a little bit on Budenholzer, probably a lot on Budenholzer. But again, you're on the court, and this is a very, it's one of the more individual, like star games, right? Or individual star-led games. It's one of the only team sports where an individual star can really take over. And you would have hoped that Giannis and Drew Holiday just realized that, whether the coach told them or not, and were just like, oh, let's go and drive at him. Obviously, the other thing is Giannis's free throw shooting. He's 12 of 31 now, I think, in the series for 39%. So even if he does bang it down low and get down low, he gets to the free throw line. If he doesn't make the shot, it's almost better that the Nets just foul him and just send him to the free throw line at this point, because he's been awful. So, obviously it's a lot of different things, but when you're up 16 points to a team that has lost 2 of their superstars, you probably should win that game.
No, yeah, definitely.
Any additional thoughts here, Mike?
I don't know. I was watching Giannis last night, dude, and honestly, he really needs that 15-footer, because him attacking the way he does, he's young now, but like it's just head down, and one day he's just gonna really, really get hurt, like bad, because he doesn't even look up. He's just like head down, and I could just see him getting hurt, dude.
It's like a Blake Griffin kind of deal.
Yeah, with Russell Westbrook tendencies. Like, dude, it's crazy.
And speaking of getting hurt, I think these heavy minutes, though, for the Nets, that might come back to bite next game, especially because, Durant missed a lot of time with injury this season. Harden's still not healthy. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if
he doesn't play.
They say Harden's out for the next game.
I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah. I'd sit him.
Yeah.
Right?
We got the win.
Yeah. Probably Durant's one of those guys that doesn't really, rely on his explosion, his athleticism. So, but 48 minutes is a lot. And like you said, he's.
When was the last time he did that?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, he's not that young.
Yeah, and let's point out the fact that this is the same Kevin Durant that's coming off a torn Achilles or whatever the injury was. Like, this is honestly what he's been able to do this year, and the performance he's had this year, and especially in this game is pretty unbelievable, considering it's not easy coming off an Achilles injury in basketball. So just unbelievable all around, really.
impressed with his mind too. Like he's not thinking about it at all, too, which is nice.
He's completely unfazed by everything.
Yeah.
Even PJ.
Even though he seems phased off the court when he gets onto Twitter.
Oh my God, I don't get it.
But yeah, so I mean, going into next game, especially with Durant, playing the entire game, I mean, I would definitely tread carefully if I were the Nets. And one other point on this, I think that really won this game for them: 22 of 25 from the line. So that's taking advantage of your opportunities.
How'd Blake do? I didn't see his stats.
I think he had 17.
Oh
yeah, Blake
let's go.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had 17.
He had some weak dunks.
Okay, all right.
So
one more point on this game though, and I think you kind of have to look at Budenholzer because Giannis didn't guard Durant one single position in the fourth quarter. Like, you're the former defensive player of the year. You're a 6'11", 240 super freakish athlete. Like, no one can stop Durant, but at least you're his same size as him. Like, you could stick with him.
You could stay in front of him.
PJ Tucker's not stopping him tonight.
No.
Like, put Giannis on him.
I know.
Do something.
And it goes back to what we were saying about him with the Hawks teams back in the day, dude. Never being able to coach past the next round. Yeah, literally. So maybe they have to make a coaching decision if they don't get out of this second round. Honestly,
I mean, they definitely will, and I think we have to go back to our favorite two candidates, Jeff Van Gundy
and Mark Jackson, baby.
Let's get him in Milwaukee, but let's pump the brakes.
We all knew who's making that decision. That's Giannis's choice.
So we will resume this series tomorrow, 8:30 ESPN in Milwaukee. And the Bucks have their season on the line, but I think those who want to jump to say, after that performance, it's over, Nets done.
No, I don't think so.
Not so fast. And I think you're going to see Milwaukee win this game 6, and then we'll have the game 7, and we'll be there.
Yes.
To watch Durant score 59,
whether at a bar, street, or actually in the arena.
So be interesting to see, how they respond the next game, see if the game plan changes. So a lot on the line here, for both teams. So we shall see. And then moving on to tonight, first game on TNT, 7:30. We have the Hawks at the Sixers. Series tied up at 2. Hawks squeaking by with that victory in Game 4, and this might be the game of the series here. I mean, it's 2-2. Who's taking control? What do we see out of Embiid, and does Trey? Does he have another Garden-esque performance in him? He's been a little up and down this series, and I'll start with you, Grasso. I mean, what do you expect to see tonight?
It's all going to come down to Embiid, and if he's healthy. If he's fully healthy, the Hawks don't have a chance tonight. The Sixers are probably going to kill him. But if he comes out playing like he did in the second half of last game, it's definitely going to be a close game. But the Sixers, they don't really have like that second and third scorers on their team. Tobias can kind of do it at a consistent level, but we need more out of Ben Simmons. At least when they're at home, I think their chances are much better for those role players.
Ben Simmons is more comfortable there.
Simmons, definitely. Tobias, but even guys like Shake Milton and Furkan Korkmaz, Seth Curry. Yeah, they play better at home.
Yeah.
So I think even if Embiid is a little banged up, you need something out of him. But if he doesn't have a great game, I still think they'll pull it off at home.
What do you think, Gino?
Yeah, I think we'll see a better performance out of this Sixers team. I don't know, though. I think that, this Hawks team now has a bit of confidence, right? They beat the Knicks 4-1 in that series, and now they've went down 2-1 in this series and come back and taking game 4 to tie the series up. I think they have a bit of confidence. I think this will be certainly very close. But I don't know. It's a hard one to pick because you don't know what you're going to get out of Embiid. If he's actually really hurting right now, then who knows if he can put together a big performance. And I think if he doesn't put together a big performance, then the Hawks win. So I think Embiid's probably going to have 25 plus for the Sixers to win tonight, but we'll see. But also Trey has to have 25 plus as well, or 30 plus probably.
What does Mystic see?
I see Joel coming back with a big game, taking care of business, and honestly 4-2 ending this series. Next game, give my big man some rest, right, Grasso? Get him some rest.
Please.
The Brooklyn series, we could all probably agree we think it's going to probably go 7. So that would be nice for the Sixers. But yeah, I just think the Hawks are maybe 1 year away. I think you get another year in this system with Nate and Collins, get him back. All these guys, 1 more year, they'll be able to get over this hump. But right now, I don't think so. Honestly,
the Hawks, they kind of remind me of like a March Madness Cinderella story. Like no one expected them to be here, so they're just playing with nothing to lose. If they lose, they already made it farther than anyone expected.
Yeah,
and if they win, it's just like the story continues. So these guys are out here playing with confidence.
Yeah,
and, they are a little scary.
Yeah, they are.
That.
They're fast too. They're young.
For the record, though, you're going Sixers. And Gino, what about you?
I'm going to go with the Hawks. I'm going to go with the Hawks. I'm going to go against the norm.
All right. I am going to take the Sixers, but I think this is actually going to be down to the buzzer and my guy, Seth Curry, for 3. This time he makes it. So,
triple clutch
this time. Triple clutch.
Yeah.
Other game tonight. 10 o'clock TNT, Clippers at Jazz. Series tied up at 2. Obviously, as we started the show, we just get the news about Kawhi. So this really, really puts the Clippers in a tough spot, and I think an impossible spot, honestly. With
over.
Him out, I don't see how
It's over.
The Clippers have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, you might think that, but I'm going with the Clippers here. Give me Paul George scoring 40.
Oh.
He's making that playoff name.
I hope so.
Let's go, PG.
Oh boy. Gino, what do we got?
Yeah, I don't have as much confidence in that. I just think without Kawhi, this team is very much like, the Nets with just one superstar, right? And granted, like we saw from Durant, I guess it could happen, but I don't think Paul George is in Durant's realm. So I feel like this team is just they're not built to go anywhere without these 2 superstars. I think Kawhi is such an important piece of this team because other than Kawhi and PG, like they don't really have much surrounding him or surrounding them. So the role players are really, really going to have to step up. And if you give me the Jazz role players versus the Clippers role players, I'm taking the Jazz role players 10 times out of 10. So obviously it's going to be a battle between Mitchell and Paul George in terms of just scoring. Both of them are probably going to have a decent game, but it's going to come down to role players, and I like the Jazz's chances much better in that situation.
What do we got, Mystic?
Yeah, no, it sucks. It sucks. Jordan Pippen, I love him, but he's out, and I don't know, man. It's tough. I love Paul George, but I don't know if he could do it anymore. That like by himself like that, I just don't see it. I want it to happen. If it happens, dude, I'm fucking ready. Let's go. I'm dancing, but I just can't see it.
Yeah,
I can't.
Yeah,
and then I like Utah's bench better anyway. So no Kawhi, it's tough.
Yeah, and it's sad because Kawhi has quietly been having maybe the best playoffs of anyone in the league right now. But I think tonight it's the perfect opportunity for Donovan Mitchell to step up again, even more. I mean, he's been doing it time after time, but their stars out. You're there. It's time for you to have a big game. Hopefully he's healthy. I mean, he tweaked his ankle towards the end of last game. So we'll see what we get out of him. But if he's healthy, I think, he can have a big game tonight and lead the Jazz to victory. But I don't know. I just think the Clippers, I think they got a shot. I'm feeling it. Give me some Paul George.
Yeah,
he's got the potential. But
I
hope
think there's no shot here for the Clippers just because Paul George has enough time scoring a lot when he's the second guy. So when all the focus is on him, forget about it. I mean, he's going to shoot 20%, and I think the Jazz actually are going to honestly win by 35. I'm not even kidding. They play well at home, and Mitchell's set up for a big night, and I think Gobert possibly goes 20-20. So just keep that in mind. Maybe throw in 5 blocks, and they will take a 3-2 lead here before we go back to LA. And for the Clippers' sake and for the competitiveness of this series, I hope Kawhi can play Game 6, but it doesn't look good.
For Chris Paul's sake, I hope this goes 7.
Oh, I know it has to.
So it'll be interesting to see, but should be some good basketball tonight with a doubleheader on TNT. So we are going to take a quick break and get Tony on for some Major League Baseball.
It's not fair. Yeah. She got away. what to do.
She's gotta go. Bye bye. I know that you love this flow. We just chillin', we just chillin', we just villains. We just chillin', we just chillin', we some villains.
I love it up, I love it up. Get the ammo and I stick it up. I grab shots on the top of shots. I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it poop, make it explode. Touch your toes, hit your nose. Can you touch your toes? Simon telling you what to do. Follow my commando, hit in the bando, tap in the bando, not like a Rambo. Rocky, Sylvester, Solo. I'm telling you, I get this.
Yeah, we're back. Tony, what's going on, bro?
Dude, how's it going, bro?
Feeling great today.
I love to see you happy, Barnes.
I mean, they finally did what we've been talking about, a win-win situation.
Let's go.
We'll get in depth about it. But, of course, in the world of Major League Baseball,
giving chase at Judge, and he dives into the stand.
DeGrom begins the season with an overpowering strikeout of Ronald Acuna. The wall is gone! 3-run home run! What's going on here? I love it. He drives one to the moon! High, deep, and very gone!
So, we did have the Yankees return to the field last night in Buffalo, a 6-5 win over the Blue Jays. And they've had some walk-off hits this season, and this wasn't a walk-off. But I have to say, I think this is their most impressive win of the season because we've seen it time and time again where they get off to a bad start. You know, they were down 5-2 after 4, and then usually they just bury themselves. But it was constantly battling back. They didn't get the effort out of Montgomery that I expected. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned, 4 walks, 4 Ks. But the offense picked them up. I mean, we got DJ LeMahieu looking really good at the plate over the last week or so. He was 2 for 4 last night, 303 batting average on the over those last 7 games. Gary Sanchez has been on fire. He homered last night, 2 for 5. He's batting 333, 4 homers, 647 slugging last 15 games. So that's like might be the biggest surprise of them all. He looked dead in the water the first 6 weeks of the season.
We were counting him out.
Now he's back on track to start the All-Star game. And then just some other notes here. We did have Chris Gittins. You know, they took away his first career run against Minnesota last week. He finally gets it, a bomb to left center. So that was a nice moment to see. And it was funny. They showed somebody from the Yankees because the way the Buffalo Stadium set up, you have the highway actually right behind it. So he's out on the highway with a fan negotiating about the baseball. So that was kind of a good thing to see. And Gardy hits his second homer of the season. 286, 409 on base, but still want him as a bench player.
Right.
Still want Cliff Frazier to get the opportunity, which he did pinch hit for Gardy in the 8th. Go ahead RBI double. And then to top all this off, after Britton, danced in and out of trouble in the 8th, he did have 2 walks. It was only his second game back from injury. Chapman, while he didn't have command of the fastball, really relied on the off speed, started up against Vlad Guerrero Jr. And honestly, I was thinking, oh my God, I mean, he's going to serve one up to Vlad.
Yeah.
He's been on fire, but he gets him with the off speed, and he gets the Jays in order for his 13th save, after these 2 bad performances, his last 2 times out. So, I mean, great opening series win, and it's all about following up tonight. But, I mean, these type of hard-fought wins, I think, are more important than anything.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And, yesterday you were talking about Judge and Stanton having good performances, which they did not. Judge was 0 for 5, Stanton 0 for 3. But it's good to see the other players kind of pick up their slack. And obviously, Judge and Stanton aren't always going to go are going to have bad at-bats like that. So you would expect, once they start hitting as well, you have the whole team hitting. It's going to be good for the Yankees. And it was a little unfortunate for Monty's outing, but like you said, their offense picked up his slack as well. And it was all around a good win, dude. Britton got out of that bases loaded jam in the God, dude. I was sweating for you.
Yeah.
It was they really showed their composure out there, definitely, especially being down early, and it was just a good, well fought team win.
Yeah, and I Britain's important, especially with that heavy sinker. I mean, it induces a lot of ground balls, and they need as many double plays on that side after they're grounding into so many of themselves. But he does kind of irk me a little bit just when he doesn't want to give in. So that's why, he walked those two guys. You know what I mean? So he's very set on where he's throwing his pitches. But then, with a sinker, I mean, you can't really leave that up. That's going to get hit out. So he makes you a little nervous at times, but he's an important part of this bullpen and arguably, their best reliever behind Chapman. So hopefully, he'll get more and more comfortable, as he gets some more work here. Gino, what were your thoughts?
I mean, really a great performance or resilient performance, I guess you could say, from this team. Obviously seen a lot of good things when you look at the box score. DJ getting 2 hits. Like you said, Gary getting 2 hits. The bottom of this lineup, the top 4, DJ, Aaron, Glaber, and Giancarlo, had a total of 2 hits combined, which were the 2 DJ hits. But the bottom lineup really showed up, from Gio down to Gardner, not including the pinch hitters. They went 6 for 19. So just under, 1 for 3 basically. So, really good performance from them. Really good to see them step up. And that's obviously important if we want to get the other guys going too. And once, the other guys do get going, kind of getting everything on full, running full blast. Again, like you said, Montgomery's performance, would have liked to see more. Unfortunate there. The 4 walks obviously stands out, but the bullpen picked it up. Love seeing Britton come out and get out of that. Love seeing him kind of work his way back. He's such an important piece to this bullpen that having him back is huge. But this team did a really good job, and it's, it was the players that you didn't really expect to see stepping up. And that's always great for this team. So 1 win down, let's keep it rolling. Let's not get too overly excited about it, but definitely a good step in the right direction.
And as far as Chapman's concerned, like I was saying, I mean, really very limited command of the fastball, but very on point with the off speed. So does that concern you, Gino, or do you think he's going to get the command of the fastball back, and him having confidence in the splitter and the slider is only going to help him later in the season?
Well, it's interesting, right? He started having these situations after the sticky situation stuff popped up. So that's obviously it's not, maybe he wasn't using it for spin rate, but more for just grip in general.
It's just he sweats like I mean, that's probably
exactly. So you never know. And again, this is the other side of the argument for having something, more than just the rosin to help grip the baseball. Just because a guy throwing 102 being wild is never good or helpful for a batter. So, but yeah, that could definitely have played into it. So I don't know. It's definitely going to be something he's going to have to work on, because he was so dominant the first 15 times he was out there this season, and he's been a little rough the last 3 appearances. So hopefully we see an improvement. But if it does have to do with maybe the sticky stuff situation, I don't know if we will. I don't, or at least it might take a few more games.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think, we're going to see pitchers be overly cautious now since this whole, investigating illegal substances is kind of in full swing, and there's a lot of buzz around it. So, like I said, I think we're going to see pitchers be extra cautious, and we will see definitely a loss of control with some pitchers.
Yeah. And I really do want to see him, though. Like I said, I mean, I do think the fastball will come back as far as command, and it just really want to see him master these off-speed pitches, because I'm still scarred with Altuve, with Rousseau. You know what I mean? But when he locates down with the slider and the splitter, I mean, it seems like it's impossible for the batters to make contact.
Yeah, no, and I mean, he's been on it. I think we maybe talked about it in a previous episode. That's something he worked on in the offseason, and you can kind of see how his off-speed pitches have gotten better.
Yeah. So hopefully that keeps improving, and that this outing gives him confidence moving forward. And moving forward tonight, 7:07, we get the living legend Garrett Cole back on the hill versus Ross Stripling. And I look at this game like I looked at last night's game. I think there's no excuses here. You're set up for a win. You got a decisive advantage on the mound. And you'd hope that the momentum offensively, the ability to battle back last night propels them forward here. And I think the most important part, really the two most important parts of last night that I want to see moving forward, obviously we talked about it all season, LeMahieu setting the table. That changes everything, of course. And then Gary Sanchez, I mean, if he returns to some semblance of what he was a couple of years ago when he was an all-star, I mean, because they've basically had nothing out of the catcher the last 2 years. So if they're able to get above average performance, I mean, that's going to go miles.
For sure. I mean, Higgy's going to be behind the plate, right?
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Just moving forward in general. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I also think, I don't know. I forget what inning it was, but he had like a pass ball that was pretty bad, dude. Like he should have caught it. So I'd like to see him maybe look a little bit more, nimble behind the plate. Like he seemed a little sluggish defensively last night. But I mean, obviously, his offense made up for it for sure. But yeah, moving forward, if he kind of keeps that confidence and again, we talked about it all season, having Higgy there kind of behind him, is giving him that sense of competition, giving him more of a drive. And I think we've seen that here and there this season, but it's moving forward consistently, like you said, would be phenomenal.
Right. And we've seen Higgy really, really struggle, the past 6 weeks at least at the plate after a great start. I mean, do you think that's just a matter of, he only gets the at-bats when Cole's starting? So, I mean, he's just not getting comfortable?
Yeah, I could see that. I also, he's obviously a young catcher and, maybe he got a little excited that he's, started off the season so well, maybe got in his head a little bit. And then on top of that, him not seeing as many at-bats, he's probably thinking like, wow, like every at-bat really counts for me at this point. So maybe he's just a little, nervous.
And I don't know. I just kind of like I've said for a while, I think he's a good backup catcher, but I would like, and I'm just curious what your thoughts are here, Gino. I'd kind of like to see them give Sanchez another shot with Cole. How do you feel about that?
I mean, with him as hot as he is and us having to play Giancarlo Stanton at DH every game because he can't walk in the outfield, I would love to see him behind the plate with Cole, but I don't know. He needs to be in the lineup. He's hitting so well. He's like our best hitter right now. He needs to be in the lineup, and every fifth day or whatever, he's not. So it's, I think he should be given another shot with Cole. But I don't think the Yankees will do that. I think they'll just stick with him.
I mean, I think he'll start tonight. I mean, if Stanton hadn't just taken off the series in Philadelphia, I think Sanchez would have DH'd tonight. But with that happening and Stanton just missing a home run last night, he actually thought it was gone. He was like watching it, and the guy, of course, caught it right, below the wall. So I think Sanchez, unfortunately, is going to be on the bench tonight, but maybe he gets in the bat late. We'll see what happens. And before we switch gears here, we were talking about this in the group chat. How about Cashman at the press conference? I mean, really just seems just out of it, like delusional a little bit.
He is losing it, bro. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what's going on. Maybe like it is the bender, like you said, but he's out of his mind.
I mean, Gino, do you think it just comes down to a lot of late nights, a lot of stress? we talked about it. I mean, he just wasn't making sense.
I mean, he looks really stressed out. I mean, if he's telling the truth like he is, he's definitely been on the phone really late with a lot of GMs trying to work some deals here. But yeah, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth saying, Boone is our guy. He's the one we want there. We know he can be a good manager. We trust the guys we have. And then the other day, the next question, he's like, this is the bed we made. Now we have to sleep in it. We're just going to roll with the guys we have. We can't do anything about it. So it's like, I don't even know if he knows what he's saying at this point, but according to him, they're working on trades. They're a buyer right now. They're talking to different teams. So maybe we see a deal happen here sometime soon. Like we said, it's now or never. So I would love to see Ketel Marte. It just seems so obvious and makes so much sense, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah, and just listening to the broadcast of the game last night, Michael Kay is talking about how Cashman's and Boone's baseball philosophies match up, and I just think that's just a load of garbage, honestly, because I think it's like their philosophies match up because Boone basically was told you can get the job, but you have to listen to everything I say, and you have no say in anything.
Yeah, and dude, you can see it, bro. I mean, as a puppet, like we mentioned it before, dude. It's I guess no. I mean, if they want to move forward, Boone, I guess that's what they're gonna do, dude.
It was
extension.
Oh Jesus! I mean, if they win the World Series, I guess you have to. But I just thought it was funny too, and I retweeted this.
Win one game, and now they're winning the World Series.
Well, I've said this. Let's not get it twisted. But that being said, Brian Hoke, I think you probably saw this at the press conference a couple days ago, asked if they were getting used to losing. And
oh, yeah.
Get the hell out of here, man. Like with that. And then Brian Hoke last night tweeted, the Yankees are 1-0 since Boone told them to get the hell out of here.
Hey, man, it's a fair question. Okay, that was a very fair question.
And I think Lindsay Adler tweeted that she dared her to ask Boone last night if the team was getting used to winning. So, a little banter between the reporters over there.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny. So hopefully they keep it up tonight, and we will see. And switching gears across town here, the Mets 3-2 victors over the Cubs. Take it away, Tony.
Dude, talk about a grind, bro. Taijuan Walker. Oh my God, last night. Obviously, Matt Gabriel. Hola. Cashman. Oh, dude. Oh, no.
Cashman trash.
Here we go.
It's Hyman.
Classic, man.
Anyway,
dude, we're past the Yankees, all right, bro?
Yeah, we've been cutting Tony off all season.
Every episode is ridiculous. Anyway, dude, 7 innings, no earned runs, 12 strikeouts, dude. Oh my God. Sorry, 2 earned runs. But dude, 12 Ks, season high. I mean, he just looked so dominant last night. And it was funny too, because the first inning, I think he gives up 2 singles and a walk, bases loaded already. The first inning, I'm like, oh, dude, like it's gonna be a tough outing. Whatever. Keeps his composure. He gives up a 2-run home run to Baez in the third. But then other than that, dude, he was golden. His fastball was so on point. And this is a team like you think of Anthony Rizzo, for example. He loves the fastball. Went 0 for 4 last night. He was just sticking all of them with the high cheese, and I think it really attests to his command on the fastball as well as his velocity. I mean, he was just on it to begin with, and then behind him, the Mets just played phenomenal defense. Guillorme had some great picks at third base. Dom Smith robbed a home run in the outfield, ripping the padding off of the wall, dude, with his cleat. It was actually really impressive. Him looking really athletic, the big man. And then to boot, I mean, Pete Alonso, dude, gets 3 RBIs, gets all 3 of their runs in. And then, the Mets bullpen just kind of hold it down. Lugo was looking good at 2 innings. He struggled with some location. It was a little interesting to watch him with his pitching selections, because the whole game, I mean, the Cubs could not hit the high fastball, and he comes in throwing, like low and away sliders and off speeds, and he walked a couple and he gave up a couple of hits, and it's like, dude, just stick to the regimen, man. And then he started realizing, I guess, he started throwing high fastballs, and he wins the game. Dude gets the save, which Lugo doesn't have a lot of relief experience. So that was good to see, especially with, tomorrow being DeGrom is starting, and he's, might be a little hurt still, I guess, with his elbow. So it was nice to see that the Mets didn't dwell too much into their bullpen, So yeah, dude, it was just a grind of a win. You love to see it. I mean, I think Taijuan is just, one of our best offseason additions, honestly, dude. Like, he was really, I think he talked about it. The Mets were the only call he got for a contract, and we pick him up. And I mean, they're 10 of 12 of his starts. They won 10 out of 12 of his starts. He has not lost at Citi Field, and it's just really nice to see this guy really settle into our rotation.
Yeah, and it's one of those kind of like late bloomers, coming off a big injury, and that's why we see it all the time with these free agent deals. Teams up. He got injured, didn't perform well for one season. It's over. It's over. And that's always premature. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. So great addition for them. And I think he's going to be, their number 2 starter really for the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, like. Absolutely.
So 7th win in the last 10 games for the Mets, and they now have a 5-game lead over the Phillies. I mean, we talk about this. It seems like every day, Gino. I mean, you're still impressed here, right? I mean, it's just chalk up, right? I mean,
yeah, it's been impressive. It's been impressive, and getting, Taijuan Walker, I think, was a guy that, when the Yankees hadn't signed any pitchers, I know I was looking at as a guy who might be able to come in for the Yankees, but again, like Tony said, only gets one call, and it's from the Mets, and he's really proven himself out there. He's been phenomenal. I mean, you really can't ask much more from him, and it kind of feels that way with every Mets player, right? We say it every day. It's like not much more you can ask from these guys because they're all going out there and exceeding their potential, I think, in a lot of aspects, and just doing what the team asks of them. And it's been, from a neutral perspective, it's been a lot of fun to watch just to see these guys go out there and just be the best they can be and go out there and have fun and enjoy themselves and really dominate some of these teams in, a situation where they're still without some players. So this team is just getting started, looks like. So really good stuff from the Mets, and we'll see if they can keep it going as they get these players back and into the heat of the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a big test tonight. 7-10 SNY. We get Stock versus DeGrom. And I mean, I think the biggest question mark for this game, other than, is DeGrom healthy, with the elbow problem, but if he is, will he have more hits than Lindor tonight?
Dude, absolutely. Honestly, I mean,
he's been on fire.
He's been on fire at the plate. It's so hilarious, dude. But I mean, obviously, I would imagine the Mets are gonna, closely monitor his workload tonight, considering his elbows issues. But I mean, I think they talked about him being healthy and ready to go. I don't think the Mets would even put him in if he felt otherwise. And then on the Cubs side of things, I mean, Robert Stock is making his Cubs debut tonight. I think he played in the major leagues with the Padres and Red Sox past couple of years, but he's in AAA. He has a 4.12 ERA in 9 games in AAA. So, I mean, is he going to get hammered tonight? I would hope so, dude. I would hope so.
Yeah. So you want to see the bats alive?
Oh
tonight.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I would love. I mean, obviously, I'd love to see Lindor do really well, and but I mean, ideally, I don't know, dude. But no, I mean, I think their bats are going to be on it, like they've been. I want to see a little bit more of a higher scoring. Really, pull away from a 3-2 win.
Right. But I mean. So you're not too nervous about the elbow, though, honestly.
Honestly, no, I'm not. I really do not think the Mets would take a chance on DeGrom like that, And if he thinks he's ready, he's going to go in there. He's going to pitch. It's like a tendonitis issue, right? So it's going to be a lingering issue.
Right.
It's just a matter of how DeGrom deals with it. He said he's been dealing with it. It's just that the pain was a little bit more while he was pitching his last outing. So I mean, I think obviously, I'm sure he's been rehabbing and he's been getting the top medical attention, so I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. So I mean, he's been a spectacle to watch all season. So I hope that elbow is healthy, because I mean, I think really the whole fate of the Mets season is him being healthy and continuing to be the guy that he is.
Exactly.
I mean, he just does so much for this team. So 7-10 SNY. Tune in for that. And then switching gears here, to our potpourri. We do have the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines starting tomorrow. So this is the 3rd out of 4 major golf tournaments this season. And this is the first U.S. Open hosted at Torrey Pines since 2008, where Tiger Woods defeated Rocco Media in a playoff. So that was, a while ago. We talk about these great courses, not hosting tournaments for a very long time. And this obviously falls into place with that. So really going to be a fun week. And, back to our weather theme that we had of recent, we got perfect weather set for the week. No rain, and the temperatures not exceeding 70 degrees. So for golf, as we saw yesterday, when you have good weather,
perfect conditions,
you can't beat it.
Yeah.
So San Diego's, known for their good weather. So I think this sets up good, for all the golfers out there. And like we've been saying with a lot of these tournaments, it's a shame that Tiger's not playing because especially with his back, the colder weather always gives him trouble. So to have a nice weather stretch like this would really set up well. But
Great
of course,
stretch.
We have to look. We have to look at who is in the tournament. So I think 3 big names to watch out for here are Dustin Johnson, the 2016 U.S. Open champion at Oakmont, and a guy who's had a very up and down run since winning last season's Tour Championship, but he did contend deep into the weekend last week, but faded late. But he's a guy where he'll shoot 80 and then he'll win a tournament by 6 strokes. So wouldn't be surprised if this is the thing to get him going. So I think he's going to be in contention. And then we've seen all season Jordan Spieth. Comeback season for the ages after really just being in a funk for years. So I'd expect him to contend, and he'd like to, of course, add another U.S. Open to his shelf. And then lastly, Jon Rahm. I mean, he got completely robbed a couple weeks ago at the Memorial with the COVID test, and you'd think he's hungry, wants to win his first career major. So those guys I do feel like are in contention. Of course, we have a deep field, and of course, the story can Phil go back to back. He just turned 51, I think today, actually. But listen, I would. They're not going to see the weekend, unfortunately.
Who's your pick, Barnes? If you were a gambling man,
Dustin Johnson.
Wow.
I think he's set up. But I do think, honestly, these 3 guys that I just named, I think they are all going to be in the top 5.
Nice.
So just keep an eye out for that. And as a dark horse, Tony Finau. He's still looking for that first win since the Puerto Rico Open in 2016. Obviously, it would be his first major title. So would like to see him contend. We'll see what happens. And lastly, one of the more overrated players in golf just because of the distance on his drives, Bryson DeChambeau, last year's U.S. Open champion at Winged Foot, miscut. He's
trash.
He really is not that good. I mean, he really isn't, and it's just one of these things.
I don't even know golf, but every time you talk about golf, he's never in it.
No. I mean, he hasn't won that much, and everybody's just obsessed with his drives. But it's like we were saying on the course yesterday, you drive for show, you putt for dough, and I just feel like his short game is not up to par with the rest of the field. So I think that's what we'll see. Anybody else have any predictions for this tournament? Give me something, Tony.
All right. I love watching DJ, but dude, I got to go Phil. I have
Phil,
to
baby.
put it out there, bro. I want to put it out there. I want to manifest it. I want to see him win. Okay, dude. It would be phenomenal. And by the way, what is today?
It's today. So happy 51st
happy
to Phil.
51st birthday to Phil. Let's win the U.S. Open, baby. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Hey, Mike, any thoughts here?
Phil. That's it.
For me, I want to see Brooksy. I want to see Brooks Koepka get back out there and do well, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh.
And honestly,
I love doing
honestly, I mean, I should have mentioned Brooks Koepka because he did win 2 U.S. Opens in a row, 2018, 2019. But I don't know. Since he had that run of winning those 4 major championships, I just feel like he hasn't been himself. So the knee, I think, is still barking. So I don't know. I just don't see it. He might be in contention, but we saw him blow it to Phil last major, at Kiowa at the PGA Championship. So not expecting a W there. And like you were saying, Tony, I mean, if Phil somehow pulls it off, I think there's no way it's not the greatest golf story ever. Literally ever. 51. I mean, he was the old guy to win it the first time and then to follow up the next major and win. I mean, that's insane. Absolutely
insane. Legendary.
So we'll get started, and it's nice too with it being on the West Coast. It's on
the weather
TV later. You get some primetime golf. With the 3 hour
difference.
time
Yeah,
difference.
right.
So looking forward to it. What's that, Mike?
So tell the fans who won yesterday, though.
Brian
Grasso.
won.
Thank you.
Ooh. Game. Me and Tony saw it all day. The short game. I mean,
the
constantly.
Chips, oh my God, dude, it was so impressive. Very impressive, Grasso.
Yeah,
So, yeah, right.
He really could. I mean, every time chipping up within a couple feet, putter was on.
Right.
Made all the ones you're supposed to make. So got to give it to Grasso.
That's how you win.
Hell of a round, and of course, we'll all be out there again soon. So
hopefully.
Other than that, was there anything else that anybody wanted to add here?
Gino does.
Gino, what do we got?
We got to do our Euro update. Come on, we got to do our Euro update. So, what'd you say?
We cut that out. We didn't
rundown.
tell you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
dude.
Sorry for the late notice.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We can still talk about it now. So yesterday, Portugal.
Look at that! Oh my God! Sorry, go ahead, Gino.
Yeah. Portugal beat Hungary 3-0. It was actually the first European event that was played in front of a full crowd, 67,000 people in the stands in Budapest. But again, Portugal won 3-0. Cristiano Ronaldo breaks the European Championship scoring record with 2 goals in this one. So big moment there. Also, a little market share. Cristiano Ronaldo moved 2 Coke bottles in his press conference, and Coca-Cola's market share dropped $4 billion. So never good there. Yep. Yeah.
Wait, he moved the Coca-Cola bottle?
He moved 2
Coca-Cola bottles one Coca-Cola bottle on his press conference as like advertisement, and he moved it out of the frame. And they said that they lost like $4 billion in market share or something like that. So crazy there. Yeah, absolutely. The big game though, France versus Germany. France beat Germany on an own goal by Mats Hummels, but France was the better team. Kylian Mbappe was just phenomenal. Their speed is so much better. Their technical ability is so much better. And then today, Russia is currently beating Finland 1-0 in the second half. And we have Turkey and Wales and Italy, Switzerland. I'm going to go with Wales winning at noon. And then I think Italy take the 3 p.m. matchup. And that's your Euros.
All right.
Bloody Welsh.
And then also, I mean, we're off to a decent start today, market-wise, but of course, the Fed and Commissioner or whatever, Jay Powell, is going to talk about inflation. I mean, just enough already. I'm just so tired of hearing about it. It's like companies are going to do well. We don't need some guy in a suit to tell us that everything's done for and everyone to freak out. Just enough. Still good buying opportunities for Bitcoin and DraftKings. So keep an eye out for that. And even Coca-Cola. I know we're talking all these millions of market share, but come on, Tony knows it's Coca-Cola. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be around for hundreds of years.
You know, I don't really think it's cool how it's okay when you talk about non-sports stuff, but when we talk about non-sports stuff, it's like, sports. And now all of a sudden, this is Sportsport plus weather
plus stocks plus Bitcoin,
bonds, Bitcoin. Come on, Barnes.
And I really would like to thank everyone for joining us today.
Hey, get the hell out of here, okay?
Oh my God! Enough. That says it all, honestly. But in all seriousness, would like to thank everyone for joining us. Of course, all of you watching on Optimum and Frontier. Thank you to Soundview Media. I want everybody to enjoy their night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.